Hello everyone, this is Qiuvox. In this video I will give you my latest Magicka Dragonknight setup DPS for PvP, and for the Elder Scrolls Online I've been working on that setup quite some time, and I've been testing, dueling, playing Cyro, Imperial City, Battlegrounds, etc, and so far that I can say this setup that I came up with is very powerful so far, and it never let me down, and this is very crazy build, to be honest. And if you are ready, click thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends, and you can use the links down below in the description for easy navigation in the timestamps chapter basically, and you can thank me through the link to support my work as well. So if you are ready, let's just straight jump into the setup itself. We will start off first with the character stats, and if we go into here, we have 24.3k maximum magic with 2000 Magicka recovery, 929 health recovery, and 918 stam recovery with 28.8k max health and 16.9k maximum stamina with 3.6k, nearly 3.7k spell damage, 15% spell crit, and 6.3k penetration, 19k and 18k spell and physical resistances, alongside with 2.8k crazy crit resistance in this setup. As well as we have 55 into Magicka and 9 into health. And we are using the Magicka recovery Mundus stone, and we are using Orzorga's smoked bear haunch to get a health recovery, stam, and Magicka recovery, which is probably the best food that you can use on the PvP. So it is not completely buffed up, but if we just do like this, and if we go there, you can see the Magicka recovery, spell and weapon damage as it follows. And if we do it like that, you can see 25k spell and 24.5k physical resistances too. So the recoveries are very nice, so it will never let you down. Because I came up with that because, as you can see, this is my main hand and this is my back bar. So we are running double bar dual wield. Not many people doing it that way because, you know, like, you're gonna suffer a lot. But if you obviously make the setup very clear, you are not gonna have any problem. And our race is the probably best in slot is the Dark Elf. You get max magic, max stamina, flame resistance, and weapon and spell damage. So this is very good. The stats are obviously not buffed up completely, and it has roughly around 8,000 spell damage, kind of, and penetration goes up to 15k, 20k without noxious spread. So think about it like that. It is very powerful. About our gear choices, we have Burning Spellweave, Mace, Double Nern. One of them has a weapon and spell damage glyph on it, and the second one has a disease damage, so we can basically reduce the enemy's healing. And Burning Spellweave, you can get it from City of Ash. You get max magic, weapon and spell damage, a little bit crit chance, and when you deal damage with a flame ability, you're gonna apply the burning status effect, which procs from time to time as long as the enemy has flame damage on them, and this thing will give you Magicka and it will deal damage. So because, you know, like, if you just a side note, if you use skill like Noxious Breath on the enemy, it has a 20-second-ish cooldown, and it will put a damage over time on the enemy for 20 seconds, but it will proc the burning status effect only on the initial hit, as far as I know. Where is that? Yeah, it will only put it on the initial hit, basically, and that way, with the burning spell weave, you can proc the burning status effect on the enemy as long as you have the dot and the when burning spell weave procs. And when it procs, you get 473 weapon and spell damage for 8 seconds, and there's a 4-second cooldown in between until it procs again. So we have double mace for penetration, both of them learn to get more damage. Around 400 we get an extra compared to swords, and it is better to use the mace, if you are wondering, than swords, because if you use double sword and double sharpened compared to double mace and double nern, this one has more penetration and around 150 more weapon and spell damage that way. So you should run double mace with nern for the best optimal thing. And we have burning spell weave ring and rings, actually 2 rings burning spell weave, both of them infused with Magicka recovery. And we have where is that? And we have the waist. It is impan with Hakkeijo, and this is light armor, and this is impenetrable. So all the gear actually is impan, just so you know. And on our back bar, we have Black Rose Perfected Sword, basically like that. We have running poison too. So the swords on the back doesn't matter the quality too much. I mean, it does, but I didn't gold it out yet. And the glyphs, you don't need glyph. We are gonna run the poison on them, obviously. I will come into it. Those swords are way better compared to the mace, and because we don't need penetration on the background, we just need more weapon damage. So that way, if the focus only the weapon damage, you can run the swords. So you need swords on the back bar anyways, and both of them have to be powered. Increase healing done by 4% for each, and this is like crazy. When you are at the back bar, you get 99 stam recovery on the purple quality. Obviously this is gonna be increased when I gold out. And when you deal damage with Blade Cloak, gives you Spectral Cloak for 2 seconds, reducing your damage taken and increasing your damage done by 6%. So you are just gonna activate the Quick Cloak or whatever, and you need Quick Cloak just to be fast on Dragonknight like that, and you are gonna get 6% less damage and gonna deal 6% more damage. It is gonna give you damage done actually. So Black Rose that way is quite powerful, and since all the healings you have is on the back bar, like this, cauterize, coagulating blood, etc., you are gonna heal yourself like crazy. Numbers, you know. And crown lethal poisons, you can run any poison. I was like trying out others, and I think the best poison ever you can use is the crown ones. You just deal poison damage and then another poison damage for 6.4 seconds and 3.5 seconds, and this is hitting very hard. So one thing that you should know, when you proc Blade Cloak on the back bar and you switch to the front, the poison will still proc, because you use the skill on the background basically, and then you swap onto the front and the poison will proc. So let's see if there's an enemy like that. For example, I press the button skill here, go to the front, and let's see if the enemy has the poison on them. Not right now again, not right now, and he went invisible. unbelievable. And now you can see the poison procced on the enemy. So it doesn't matter if you are on the back bar or front bar, it is going to proc, and this will work even if you are on the front bar. This is why the quick lock and the back bar Black Rose is quite perfect. We have a helmet and the shoulder Balork. Alright, and both of them is heavy. And when you use Balork, you get a weapon and spell damage equal to the total and ultimate you spent. Like for example, if you use 300 ultimate, you are gonna get 300 weapon and spell damage, and plus 23 times more physical and spell penetration. Like in PvP situations, we are Dragonknight, we are using Fresh to Sleep, sometimes Corrosive, but it's like 125 ultimate, so you are gonna get like 120, 150 weapon and spell damage, and you are gonna get like around 4 to 6k penetration, let's say, from the Balork only. Both of them Hakejo, both of them heavy, keep in mind, and all of them in pen as well. So this is the Balork, and we have a necklace Sea Serpent coil from the High Isle. It is infused with Magicka recovery. Again, while you are at full health, you gain 40% damage reduction, and if you take damage while at full health in combat, you gain blah 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 for 10 seconds, snaring yourself by 40%, which is crazy, and you gain major berserk and major courage, increasing your damage down by 10% and weapon and spell damage by 430. Don't get confused, this is same buff like Olorim or Spell Power Cure, and the damage reduction will only apply when you get the first hit if you are at 100% health. But when you get health, when you get damage to your health, if you have a 100% health pool, you're gonna get a 10% damage done and 430 weapon and spell damage, as well as you are gonna get slowed down. So basically, if we have an enemy right here, I'm just gonna... Okay, there is one. So, just hit me, bro. Okay, we got snared right now, so just counter. You can run the quick lock a little bit, but this is going to snare you like crazy. And you just literally cannot run, as I'm trying to, but you cannot run. So one good thing is that setup is you can proc the Sea Serpent coil the whole time, because you have too much healing, and it is have to be, it wants you to be at 100% health for you to get a 10% damage done and weapon and spell damage. If you are not at 100% health, you are not gonna get damage done and weapon and spell damage. Like, if my health drops down to 50% and it has been 15 seconds and I'm still taking damage, it is not gonna proc. You need to heal yourself and reach 100% health, and then when you take damage while at 100% health, you are gonna get the damage done and weapon and spell damage, basically. So this is how Sea Serpent works. And as I said, we have one light armor waist right here, and our other set is also Impan Stun heavy chest with Hakejo. We are using 4-piece. We have I guess this is the best 4-piece ever you can get. This is 124 weapon and spell damage, 1.4k penetration, and 124 weapon and spell damage again. So from the stun, this is craftable set. From the stun we use chest, we use hands in medium, Impan and Hakejo. We have legs, heavy, Impan, Hakejo again, and we have feet, heavy Impan, Hakejo again. So you may think, why 4-piece? Because I wanted to run Sea Serpent Coil. I wanted to run Burning Spell Weave. I wanted to run the Balork as well. So my point was using Balork and the Sea Serpent Coil at the same time, and I don't wanted to use Corrosive Armor Ultimate just to nuke people. So I can use the Balork and I can use the Ferocious Leap just to damage people, and this is way more fun. It is more Dragonknight-ish setup, I will say. So this is the gear. There's no alternates, like you can just gold out everything. Literally it is like a beast so far. The setup is beast. And about the food, yeah, this is obvious food. I already said it. Orzorga smoked bear haunch. This is gonna be expensive food, but that's fine. And we are using tri-stat potions. I mean, it doesn't exactly matter what potions you use. I'm using tri-stat, and there's a immunity, CC immune potions I have. I have stealth detection potions for Night Blades. Again, magic recovery ones, max magic health, and there's invisible potions too, like poof, you are gonna be hidden. So you can do that kind of potions too, and they're quite useful, and you get ultimate as well. And I think that's it on the item wise. The setup is this. We are using basically 5 heavy, 1 light, and 1 medium, all in pan, and all of them with Hakkeijo glyph on them. About our skills, we have on the front bar, we have Shattering Rocks. It stuns the enemy, and they take a 3.7k flame damage, and you get healed 7.3k health when the stun ends. And this can't be blocked or dodged. Like, no matter what, if you aim someone and they are not CC immune, you are just gonna stun them and deal damage, and you get health. Burning Talons, this is probably the most broken CC ever in the game. You deal damage to the enemies near you and additional damage over time, flame for 4 seconds, and you immobilize them as well. And ally can use the synergy, etc., and deal damage too. So there is a trick actually. I'm using the Flame Lash. You may say, okay, why not Molten Whip? Because I don't have a restoration stuff on the back bar, so it is kinda quite tricky to heal myself during the fight. So it is better to run Flame Lash. And it says basically, if you strike an enemy that is immobilized or stunned, you set them off balance. So the main thing is that here you can still stun them, but your main damage output is through the Talons and the Flame Lash. It is gonna like proc the Flame Lash like crazy, the Talon. It is not the Shattering Crack that is going to proc your Flame Lash. It will, but the Burning Talon is like way better. For example, for instance, and I don't know why, but Talon just makes the people off balance quite fast. And when you make them off balance, they are gonna be off balance for 6 seconds. And when you off balance them, the Flame Lash turns into the Power Lash, allows you to lash an enemy at half cost to deal 8.5k flame damage and healing you for 8.6k health. Of course, those stats are completely unbuffed. Like imagine you are whipping the guy for 6 seconds straight, and you are getting like a 10k each hit, 10k health each hit. So you don't exactly need to go back, like use Cauterize or Coagulating Blood to heal yourself through. So you can basically do damage and heal at the same time. And our fourth skill on the front bar is the Noxious Breath. It does the poison damage and additional 15.4k poison damage over 24 seconds. And it reduced the enemy's physical and spell resistance by 6k, so you should keep it up on the enemy the whole time. Then our last skill is here. Burning Embers deals 3.5k flame damage and additional 16k flame damage over 24 seconds. And you heal for 12% of the damage done with this ability when the skill ends, or if you press the button halfway. And it will put the burning status effect on the initial hit, as it says. So this is where burning spell wave set comes in. Those skills are only putting the burning status effect on the initial hit. So but as long as the skill is up on the enemy, burning spell wave is going to proc through. So keep in mind, this is why we are using burning spell wave. This is crazy. I already explained the flame ash. On our ultimate, we do have on the front bar and actually on back bar too, Ferocious Leap. You just leap to the enemy. It has 22 meters range and 8 meters radius, and it costs 125 ulti. You launch yourself at an enemy, dealing 13k flame damage, knocking them back and stunning them. And also after you leap, you gain a damage shield that absorbs 30k damage for 6 seconds. And this will basically scale with your maximum health. And let's do it like that. Damage change, of course, and but the shield is not going to change. Like, it is gonna scale with your maximum health. This is useful. You can use corrosive, but I don't think you need it. When you activate the corrosive, basically you are gonna get 100,000 physical and spell penetration, and it will make you immortal for like 12 seconds. And it will deal a little bit poison damage to nearby enemies each second for 12 seconds as well. And the reason that I'm not using corrosive too much is because we have Balork. Like, I have more than enough penetration that I ever wanted. So that's why I'm not using the corrosive too much, but of course you can do it. On our back bar, we have Volatile Armor. We get 6k physical and spell resistances, and it will deal 7.8k flame damage over 20 seconds if you hit to the enemy while you are activating it. And while active, the armor returns 400 flame damage to any enemy that uses a direct damage attack against you in melee range. The melee range is 7 meters. And this ability will scale with your physical and spell resistance. So we have like a 19 unbuffed, and if you do it like that, you can see the damage actually increased, and the flame damage to enemies is also increased because we do have basically more resistances. That's why. And on our other skill, let me drink. On our other skill, the second one, we have Cautiorize. It will heal you every 5 seconds for 6.3k health. And when you place it, you're gonna get around 10-15% spell and weapon crit. I guess it's 10%, sorry about it. You're gonna get a 10% weapon and spell crit on your back bar. And I'm not using Flames of Oblivion because I feel I need a healing without the restoration stuff, obviously. And you need Cautiorize just to be able to heal yourself. And when you are really in emergency, you heal with the coagulating blood 12k, increasing by up to 50% additional healing based on your missing health. And while the skill active, you get a major fortitude, increasing your health recovery by 30% for 20 seconds, like this, 1.1k, 1180 health recovery. And this is very powerful to have a coagulating blood. And if I'm not wrong, there's like a passive burning card. While a Dragonic power active, your healing received is increased by 12%. So you should keep the coagulating blood up the whole time, basically, on yourself. And we have Molten Armaments, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 20% for 36 seconds. And you also gain Empower for the duration, increasing the damage of your light and heavy attacks by 80%. So this is Molten Weapon. You get a 20% more weapon and spell damage, basically. You may wonder why we have more weapon damage than spell damage. That's because we have a passive right here, Mountain Blessing. You get a minor brutality when you activate Earthen Heart ability, so you get a 10% more weapon damage. And if you are in combat, you also generate 3 ultimate every 6 seconds, so this is quite cool. And we have a Shattering Rock for this to work anyways. And here is from the dual wield. I'm sorry, I'm kind of sleepy, I guess. Dual wield quick cloak. You just have a major evasion, reducing your damage from AoE attacks by 20% for 30 seconds. And every 2 seconds the Sharafnel will pulse, dealing 1.2k physical damage to all enemies within 5 meters. And you get a major expedition, 30% more movement speed for 4 seconds when you basically just activate. And when you activate the skill, it will hit to the enemy every 2 seconds. It will proc the poison on the back bar. It will proc the Black Rose weapons just right here by using the Blade Cloak. It will give you 6% damage done. It will make you take less damage by 6% as well. And this is very tanky build, like. And not the CP, sorry. On our back bar we still have a Ferocious Sleep. I'm kinda lazy to farm Psijic, but if you have time, farm Psijic ultimate and place it just right here to get a 5% less damage on your back bar, so it is better. And you can use Ferocious Sleep on the front bar and basically back bar Psijic ultimate. It is gonna be the best. So those are the skills. There's no flex spot, literally, and you don't need anything else anyways. So you basically just need the dual wield and all the passives. You need a light, medium and heavy armor passives, and you don't need fighter skills. And you can have Undaunted. It is not maxed out on me for some reason. Why? And we have Dark Elf, and from here in Alchemy you need Medicinal Use, obviously. And that's it. I tried out Resolving Vigor too. And I will say this is... Oh my god. Get off me. I used Resolving Vigor too, but this is really not necessary. You get a spell and physical resistance and you get a crazy healing. Like a crazy healing. But, you know, you don't exactly need it. So, yeah, you don't need Resolving Vigor. Like Cauterize, Coagulating Blood, Shattering Rocks and Burning Embers is way more than ever you need to heal yourself. And also Flame Lash as well. When you hit, you're just gonna get a health from it. So those are the skills basically. And I will jump into the champion points right here. On the green one, I have the War Mount and Gifted Rider just to run fast on the Imperial City and Cyrodiil. On the blue one, this is the most critical one ever. We have Focus Mending, increase our healing down by 10% on single target heals. We have Wrathful Strikes, you get a 205 weapon and spell damage to your damaging abilities. Keep in mind, damaging abilities. And in here, we have Resilience, we have 660 crit resistance, and we have Ironclad, reduce your damage taken by direct damage attacks by 6% as well. And you can actually remove Wrathful Strikes, okay? And you can do either Thaumaturge, but I don't see any difference. I believe it is better to have Wrathful Strikes compared to Thaumaturge, because you may think like, okay, this is like a damage over time build, why we are not using Thaumaturge. The weapon and spell damage for some reason is performing better than Thaumaturge, but there is something else. If you don't want to use Wrathful Strikes, you should go into the Extended Might, go into here, use the Force of Nature, increase your offensive penetration by 660 for every status effect your target has. This is like crazy champion point. I tried out. It is still beast, and you can do it. You can destroy the tanks literally in no time, as long as you have your dots on the enemy. So you're gonna put all those things, like I designed that setup to work with everything, so you don't need to worry about any CP, and you're gonna have the blast, etc. Here, like a damage reducing things, you're gonna have them in here too. And on the red one, we have a Boundless Vitality, 1.4k maximum health, 1.7k armor from the Fortified, and in here we have Sustained by Suffering, 150 health, magic and stamina recovery when you have a bad negative effect on yourself. Then we have Pain's Refuge, reduce your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects active on you, up to a maximum of 20%. So when you have a 10 negative effect on you, you are gonna get 20% less damage basically. And apart from it, you can have anything that you can get, and there's nothing much to say about it. And those are the champion points. Don't change anything on the red one. And on the blue one, if you want to change something, change Wrathful Strikes and try out the Force of Nature. But both of them works pretty wild, and I just like to have more weapon and spell damage to my damage abilities. I wouldn't use it if I was using restoration stuff on the back bar. I would use straight Force of Nature, but since I changed the whip from Molten Whip to Flame Lash, it still gives me more healing, because the Wrathful Strikes only gives weapon and spell damage to your damaging abilities, and when you Flame Lash to the off-balanced guy, you're gonna get healing through the Wrathful Strike affecting the skill itself. So this is why it is like a very powerful champion point. And far as I know, I will give you some gameplay video like right now, and you can see how actually the setup performs in the PvP situations. And I hope you enjoy the video. Subscribe, thumbs up, and consider thanking me through the link down below in the video, and check the timestamps again for easy navigation throughout the video itself. And see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourself. And cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Just wish you knew. Just wish you knew.